Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It is Vinky here today with the latest Yum box. Yes, this one actually took a little bit longer. It's actually been over a month for me to get this. Yeah, they ship it from Jersey. I'm in New York City, but it got held up for about a week. So yeah, this is the first time seeing it and I'm pretty excited. So I haven't done the spoilers. I do know what country it is from. That I do know. But I didn't look at spoilers. There are places you can go that know way ahead of time. Again, in this box. This fell out of that. It's probably from me, not from them. But here we go. I'm excited. This is the second box that I have gotten, and this is France. Now, I have been to France only once. I'm trying to go back, actually. And what I like about this is that besides the Yum card and stuff, I don't want to say too many spoilers, it basically tells you where it is on the map. So I like this. Here's the English Channel, you have Germany, you have Switzerland, and you have Italy. It tells you where it is positioned. So that's actually kind of nice. Fun fact, looking at this, I have been to every country but Switzerland. Yay, now that things are opening up again, I hope to hit more. Now this time I want to go through the map a little bit better than I did the first time. I was just grabbing and going. So that is what I am going to do. And it talks about like France in 60 seconds, which is interesting. I'm not going to necessarily read all of this, but it gives you trivia. It tells you the different food. This is just really interesting to me and really great. I love this. I love this. I think it's so great, and I think it's perfect for families. It's a great way to study about different cultures and geography and things, and enjoy some yummy snacks while doing it. Best way to remember, in my opinion. So it told me to start a certain way. I didn't the first time. I kind of went my own way. That's kind of what I do when I travel anyway. So it's kind of my style. But I'm going to start with the strawberry bonbon chewy candies. And I haven't eaten yet, so it would have been nice to kind of start with something a little bit more savory, but ooh, these are in there. Always bring scissors for this. Ooh, so you can definitely smell the strawberry, and this is what it looks like. So be careful if you have small children, because these are pretty tiny. Pretty good. It tastes like strawberry candy. It's basically kind of like a Laffy Taffy here in the US, but it has more powder on it, like powdered sugar, than Laffy Taffy does. It's pretty good. It's actually pretty good. Very sweet. Nice little pick for the middle of the day if you need it. Now, it's going to be on my teeth. Whew, those are really sticky, so just be prepared. They're really going to stick to your teeth. They're not hard to chew into when you first chew into it. They're fine, they just stick to your teeth. So, brush your teeth afterwards, kids. So the next one says save cheese, and this is the French cheese tubes. So, France is famous for cheeses. I think it has some of the most cheeses in the world, if not the most, one of the most countries with different cheeses. And so, of course, you have to have some kind of cheese snack because this is representing it. It does not smell like cheese at all, but that doesn't mean anything. So it's a cheese tube. So it looks like this. So it's kind of the equivalent to an American Bugle, if you've ever had those. I remember having them like when I was a kid. I hope I did not spit. Sorry if I did. I remember having them when I was a kid, and it kind of tastes like that. I don't really taste too much of the cheese. I don't taste too much of the cheese from this, but it's definitely a corn snack. I mean, there's a little hint maybe, but it's just salt to me. So for me, I think it basically tastes like a Bugle. If you've had any of those and you're in the US, it's a corn chip, but the difference was that it was like a cone, and you could put it on your fingers and chew it off. That's what kids always did. I didn't do it, because I'm really weird about stuff like that a little bit. It's a whole different topic, but I didn't like doing that. Like, I don't lick my fingers after eating food and stuff. Even when I was a kid, that kind of freaked me out. So take what you will from that. So this is pure butter Sables. And these are biscuits that I guess the French swoon over. Maybe they do. I don't know. There's a few in here. Wow, one package is 230 calories. So it may be because of the butter. Oh, okay. Well, there's 6 in there. So, you know, as I said, I'm not going to like eat the whole thing today. Because I actually have another box that I have to get through from a different one that I'm doing. So we don't want to do too much of that. So this is what it looks like. I can smell the butter. It's like a sugar cookie, but not. So it's like a sugar cookie in a cracker form. Yeah. It's actually quite good, but it is very dry. So this is something that you're going to want to drink with tea. This is very much like a tea kind of situation. So it's very tasty though. But it's kind of like a really hard cookie, sugar cookie that's a little bit browner. It's been browned a little bit more with less sugar and a little bit harder. Yeah, but it is kind of in that vein. So, you know, if you're not into that, you may not be into that. But I think if you don't, you know, if you're not into sugar cookies or biscuits like you can get in England, it's very similar to that, then you may not care for that. But I really think it would shine better with tea. It's one of those things you need something with moisture with. So the next one is the garlic aioli potato chips. Now, I really hope, I love garlic, but I don't want to hanging out with people later, so, but I am going to try it. So, Truffle, Aioli, yeah. So that's basically the flavor aioli, which is garlic. Okay, so we'll open that up. My cat is spazzing out in the background, in case you're wondering what's happening. She gets like that, and then she'll parkour on the door and swing it open. Yeah, my cat parkours. So I open this up, and my goodness, it is, wow. This room probably reeks of garlic now. And I don't mean that in a bad way, any disrespect. It's just, it's strong. And I might as well go for it because, oh wow. This is pure garlic. Pure garlic. Yeah. Brushing my teeth is not going to resolve this issue. That is good though. I'm not even going to lie. It is so good. But much like we have Funyuns here in the US, or if you eat any kind of Doritos, that's a you're spending time alone type chip. So that's something you do on a rainy Sunday afternoon, and you know you're not going out for 24 hours because during a huge snowstorm or something. Because that is like eating, like going straight in your jar of garlic. It's very tasty though. I could polish off that bag. It is so tasty. But yeah, that's a lot of garlic. Okay, so it's saying they're salted caramel. So I'm thinking they're probably in the Yum bag. That's pretty much what I'm going to assume because I don't see any here. But yeah, there they are. I'm a big fan. Salted caramel. I mean, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with salted caramel. Probably won't eat the whole thing now. I make caramels myself. I'll be eating this. I'm not going to go, hey, I want a candy and hand it to somebody. I promise. That's very good. But it's extremely chewy. Extremely chewy. So it sticks to your teeth even more than the bonbons. Not that any of us were surprised. But what I like about it is there's a nice balance of salt to it. Like some of them are too overwhelmingly salty or not enough, and this one's really good. Very, very nice balance with that. Yeah, that's really good, actually. So the next one's the Coco chocolate truffle bar. It's weird because they're like, go to this, but now move it to this. Now, I did get the Christmas or the holiday box. I didn't show the video. I don't think I will at this point. Sorry, guys. But they had these in it. Truffle bar. So they had something very similar to it in it. And they were really good. But they are dark chocolate. So, ooh. This is what they look like, and it is already melting in my hands. Ugh. Yep. It is already melting in my hands. Oh my goodness. So, as we know, I do not lick chocolate off my fingers. So, that melts quickly. I almost want to put that in the refrigerator first because this would be a very messy snack. Yeah, you may want to put this in the refrigerator. It is everywhere. It is absolutely everywhere. Okay. Yeah, that was really messy. That was really, really messy. But you know what? It's very, very good. I'm going to put it in the fridge first before I eat it. It's actually not that hot in here, but it is really good. It is like the softest, obviously most meltable, dark chocolate. It's really good. It has light powder on it. And it's delicious. It is so good. These are just so good. I just don't want to pull it back out again, but they're not the same form that you're probably used to. You know, they're not chocolate covered. They're basically the inside of a truffle. Like in the US, a lot of the times the truffles are covered. Some look at that more as like a bonbon, but it just depends. I don't have them normally in this normal state, but those are really good. And I remember loving them on the holiday box. So they are quite delicious. Just be prepared. Put them in the fridge. That's what I would do. And then they won't get all over your hands, but that is tasty. That is so freaking tasty. I love it. So just be prepared. That was really, as soon as I touched it, it started melting like instantly. So it's a messy little treat. So if you have kids specifically, be prepared to wash their hands afterwards if they're younger. If they're older, they got this. But yeah, really good though. So there's also assorted fruit chews in here. And it looks like it's either an orange or a lemon and then a strawberry. So I do not do orange flavor. I know. For some reason, I do not like oranges. And I have a feeling that, I hope this is a lemon. There is a strawberry, but I'm a risk taker in life. That's orange. It's orange. Mm-hmm. And sometimes risks pay off. And sometimes they do not. There is a strawberry. I will not be eating that right now, but ooh. It's definitely orange, and it's a very bright orange flavor, so if you like orange, you will love that. And on the other hand, we'll be handing that off to somebody else, but not the chewed on one. But it's very good. Again, it's like our fruit chews that we have here. Starburst. They taste just like Starburst. Yeah. But I always buy the red pack if I'm going to get those that I think are strawberry and cherry. It's the way to go for me. But it's very, very good. But that gives you kind of a clue as to what it's like. So the next one is Maison Brûlée. Yeah. I do speak French poorly. But I just like doing the pronunciation with an American accent. You know, the French people who speak French are just like... Actually, they're very nice about it. And I will say this, is that I was told that they were really, everybody's like, oh, they'll be so rude if you try to speak French. They weren't at all. They were so darn nice to me. A couple of them were actually like, oh, your pronunciation's quite good. I think they were being nice, but they were very encouraging. So don't believe that. If you go in with a really good attitude and you try and follow the customs as much as possible, people are nice. You walk into the store, it's early in the day, you say bonjour. They know you're not from there, but you know, that's kind of the polite thing to do. I think a lot of it is just what you bring to the table. And I had a wonderful time. Like, the subways were a little bit crazy. I'm not gonna lie, the subways, I live in New York City and the subways are nuts. Oh no. Oh no. Paris Metro, that's a whole different video. Whole different video. But this is apricot and vanilla cookie. Now, I have not had this before. It's French's famous cookie and its most fragrant flavor yet. So apparently this is a staple in France. And I love that. Maybe it's like our Oreos or something. If you haven't had an Oreo, you're not living. And I think I've actually seen these before. So this is what it looks like. It's very crispy. And there's the apricot in the middle. So this is what it looks like. It's not exactly what I didn't expect it to be small. It's kind of like Cookie Crisp. There's like cereals like that, or like cookie cereals that are out there. That's what it's kind of like. So in the US, you would put this in a bowl and pour milk on it and call it breakfast. There you go. That's really crispy. Sorry about that. It's really crispy. It's really sugary, like really sugary, which surprises me. And then it has that taste of apricot. I actually like apricot, and I think this is a really lovely flavor. This is actually quite lovely. I like this one a lot, actually. I didn't think I would. I could see how it would be kind of polarizing. Yeah, because the texture is really dry. Again, this is something that you have with tea. It's actually quite good, but I can see why people would be kind of like, bah! I'm not. Now, what comes next is the onion confit and balsamic vinegar chips, which is exactly what I need right now because it has been a lot of sweets. So, confit d'oignon and natural, no preservatives, no added MSGs. So it's onion and balsamic vinegar. I think Brett's are pretty popular. I've seen them a few times, so apparently they put out fun flavors that everybody loves. I know I do. Yeah, you can smell a little bit of the onion. Just a little bit. God, that's a big piece. I just don't want to be rude. Well, and then I pulled out an even bigger one. Boop. That's really good. That one's really good. I really like the garlic one quite a bit, actually. But I feel like this one has a better balance. You can taste sweet onion. Oh, that's so good. Sweet onion with the hint of sweet balsamic vinegar. That tart sweetness of it. Put together into a chip. That one is so good. It is so good. I do like the garlic ones, but I think that this one's just a little bit more balanced. And then this one is C'est Moi, and it is a chocolate bar. How cool is that? I love that. I love that because this is something that I would buy if I was traveling. Oh my gosh. Some of the truffle got onto this. I'm telling you, that truffle. The truffle is no joke, in case you're wondering. Oh my gosh. It's like, it's no joke. Now this bar is broken. I can feel it, but that's okay. Because it's going to be broken when I break it to eat it and put it in my tummy. So there you go. I just can't get over that truffle. The truffle is everywhere. So I'm just going to break off a small piece. And this is what it looks like. And I'll put a picture to the side so you get the full thing. So good. So here's the thing. Europe, I'm not going to say everybody, but in Europe, dark chocolate tends to rule a little bit more than the milk chocolate here in the US. And it's 47% cocoa. So, and it has sea salt. I was wondering what that was. There's sea salt crystals in it. So there's crunchiness to it. This is really well balanced. I actually don't think this is too much of a dark chocolate. I actually prefer dark chocolate. This isn't too much of a dark chocolate. This is, for some, probably perfect, and for others, too much. I will eat 60%. I love dark chocolate. This one is nicely balanced. It has enough sweet to make, I think, the masses happy. And then the salt kind of breaks up what little sweetness this is. There is in it, but it's just so well balanced. This is so well balanced and so absolutely delicious. That is delicious. And I just want to make sure that there are no more truffles on me. Those things, they're delicious but lethal. Yeah, I just love this. I just love this. Beyond just the food, I just was briefly looking through the book, and it just talks about all the history and the artwork of France, just briefly, because you gotta put that up. I mean, like, come on, Monet. Ugh. And then it talks about making, like, different types of recipes. They put recipes in here, which I didn't notice before. I just love that. I just think this is such a smart little book. And there's a pop quiz of Paris. I've been to Paris. Paris is quite lovely. 400 years of French fashion. You kind of have to talk about it. You have to talk about the art. You have to talk about the fashion, because it's a lot of what France is known for. Just a beautiful culture, beautiful language. I should just put that in here. One of the most beautiful languages in the world. It truly is. Difficult to learn, though. I will say this. I'm more of a Spanish speaker. And with Spanish, you can be a little bit more freewheeling. You know, you're like, yeah, you know, you can just speak it, and you don't have to be so formal with it. The rules aren't quite as strict. When you're learning French, you better be putting the articles where they need to be, conjugated the correct way. It's very, very specific. And there's a lot of rules. And there's not as many rules in Spanish. So Spanish, I'm just like, maybe because I was raised around Spanish, but French is a beautiful language, but you really have to listen to a lot in context, because sometimes even when you're addressing people, you know, it's hard to know to whom unless you're in a group, because the endings sound the same. Whew, it is a beautiful language, but it takes a lot of practice. And you most likely, as an American, will never sound quite as beautiful as they do in France. It's partly the accent. And then they talk about going through Paris and the Eiffel Tower, which of course I saw, Notre Dame. Unfortunately, Notre Dame had burnt down right before I got there, a week before I got there. I was so excited. I love Gothic churches, and this was my dream to see Notre Dame. And a week before I got there. And I remember somebody telling me, oh, enjoy seeing Notre Dame. And I went, you're a jerk. Yeah. So, but they are working on it, and I will definitely go back when it is rebuilt, and probably before then, because I will say France is a beautiful country. It's a beautiful, beautiful country. I feel like here in the US there's some misconceptions, and like I said, go in there with a good attitude, you're gonna be fine, except in the subway. Oh my gosh, the subway, it's like, and then people come up to the sun and they're normal again. It's so bizarre. It's just down there. It's like a fight for survival. It was the oddest thing I've seen. People yelling at each other, people pushing past each other. I was shocked. And I live in New York City. But then they're nice when you're up above. It was so bizarre. I don't know what happens down there. I do not know. But even New York isn't that bad. The people are swearing at each other. I just do not get it. But don't let that deter you, because that was my first experience, and I'm like, what did I get myself into? But then when I started walking around and going into shops and restaurants and things, it was totally fine. Everybody's so sweet, and I didn't have any issues. So don't believe that. Don't believe that. Go in, speak, learn the basics. It's always nice to do that anywhere you go. And just go in with a good attitude. read a little bit on the culture before you go in is pretty much my advice. I've been to 27 different countries. Not overly impressive, but enough to know. Go in with the basics of the language and read up on the etiquette. Please read up on the etiquette beforehand and what's expected. You don't want to be tipping people in Japan. Things like that, just kind of the basics. You don't have to go through the history of their existence all the way to present time, though that'd be nice too. You can do that if you'd like. But then there's the Arc de Triomphe. Of course, I was there. And Le Louvre. Okay, so this one was kind of tough because I feel like I really love these truffles, but they are a little bit difficult to eat. They are so delicious though. But I would definitely put these to the top. I'm just going to put them in the fridge. I also enjoyed this, but I feel that we have very similar things that we can get here in the US. So, but the chocolate you can never go wrong. The one thing that I really did love was the Confit d'Oignon. I'm trying. So this one was really, really good. I really enjoyed this one quite a bit, actually. So those two were my absolute favorites. I will say that for me, the things that I'm kind of are the caramels and these, because they're so similar to what we have in the US. Caramels are here, and then these are basically fruit chews. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just kind of what we can get here. The things that they put in the yum bags tend to be to me. It's kind of the stuff that Nana would have, and there's nothing wrong with Nana. We love Nana. But it's like the stuff that you have in the jar for when the kids visit. It's that type stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not the most exciting. So I think the item, to me, none of this was really unique in that we have strawberry bonbons, you know, we have things like this, biscuits. I don't think we're so far removed from French food. It's something that I think we're surrounded by here in the US, and we don't really think about it. If you catch my drift, we have very similar things like this. Yes, the cuisine is very different, but in some ways it's not, especially when it comes to snack foods. I think it's basically flavoring and things like that. So the one that I think is the most unique, because again, I don't like the term weird. What is weird to us is somebody's normal and vice versa. But the one that is the most unique, I would say, is the apricot and vanilla cookies, because we don't use apricot too much here. I know they do in France, they do in Britain. But we in the US don't tend to do that. And if I was eating something that was like that, I'd go, oh, this is more French or British. That's the first thing that would come to my mind. Oh, I bet you it's made there. So that's what I kind of get from this. It's unique, and I think in a good way, but I think this is going to be very polarizing. Very polarizing. So I think one of those chocolate bars is probably going to be people's most favorite. I have a feeling. I feel like the one that people are going to like the least, I'm going to say, no, I think people are going to go with this. I really think people are going to go with this for some reason, and it's good. It's just dry, and so that may throw some people off. I like it. I think it's the most unique, and I think they're delicious. So I'm going to enjoy those. And as far as the most unique, I think it's the most unique. I think that's going to be the least favorite of many. I think one of the chips is going to come through as the most unique, or / weird. I don't call it that. The most unique. I think one of these. I don't know which one. Probably the onion, but the garlic could be in there. I love doing this because I'm taking bets. I am taking bets on how my fellow Americans feel on this. I'm curious, but this was definitely a fun box. Okay, so the first box that I had was the only thing I really had to go off of. The holiday one's very different, but it was Poland. That was an excellent box. I have to say the diversity the diversity they put in that box was quite amazing. And this was very good, but it's really hard to top that. That is like the box, in my opinion, to top. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. I'm just putting it out there, folks. I don't know if they can do it. I don't know. It was very good, though. But it was a lot of chips and, well, there was too, but it's a lot of chips and things, and it's a snack box. But there was just something about that. There's a lot of chips. there's a lot of hard cookies in here and chocolate. And there was something about that box from Poland where there was just this wonderful balance. But this was still really good. This is still a really strong showing. So I'm really excited by it. I'm going to enjoy everything about it. I am really hungry. Can't wait to eat more. So yes, let me know what you think about this month's Universal Yum. What you think about it. I'm curious to know. And until next time, have a fabulous day, my friends. Bye.